Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Review. So my latest TV show, and I haven't done a TV show in a while, and my apologies for not doing a whole lot of TV shows. I try to get to them if I feel like there's something to say about a particular TV show. And so my latest comes out from Netflix, and this is called Social Distance, and it's an anthology series that takes place while people are socially distanced on cameras or anywhere else that they're able to film. These are 8 episodes, and like all anthology shows, some are good, some are not so good. And let me get right into them with the first episode. The first episode here is called Delete All Future Events. This is directed by Anya Adam and written by Hilary Wiseman Graham, and this tells the story of Ike, played by Mike Coulter. He's a recovering alcoholic, and we see him on Zoom or whatever else device that you can call it, that he's having an AA meeting, and he gives self-help barbershop lessons to people over Skype, and we see one guy here who happens to try to get a, B.A. Baracus haircut on himself, and we come to learn that, he broke up with his girlfriend, and she's currently in another relationship he sees on Instagram. Now, these episodes here are put into chronological order in which the year has started out. As I mentioned, he's a recovering alcoholic, and he talks to one of his fellow AA people, basically says, my wife left me at one point. I went searching for her near her parents' place. He got a restraining order and a DUI in the process. And then Ike begins to talk to a fern, which leads him down a path of relative self-destruction by doing another Instagram post while he's drunk. And he tries very hard to resist the temptation of actually trying to drink. The second episode here is called A Celebration of Human Life. This is directed by Diego Velázquez and written by Tara Herman. And this basically tells the story of a funeral taking place over Skype or whatever you can call this. My apologies, I'm not down with the latest technology here. So family celebrating the life of their deceased patriarch. A lot of these episodes are starring people that you don't really know of, or at least I know of this person. You may not recognize them at all. The only recognizable person here is someone, if you had watched the show, you would recognize it as Miguel Sandoval, who played DA on Medium, as a family friend. And a couple of the younger generations of this family doesn't realize that he is a family friend. They always thought of him as the uncle of the family. But basically, he doesn't understand how to press the mic on to have a conversation with this family. It constantly gets more bickering as the episode goes along. Episode 3 is called And We All Got Together. This is directed by Phil Abraham and written by Merritt Trice. And this is basically an episode in which, there's an exasperated single mother who has a daughter who she's leaving alone because school is closed. And she's taking care of an old lady who I guess has ALS. Daughter is a school teacher. And obviously the caretaker are constantly talking over Skype or whatnot. And basically she wants the caregiver to take care of her mother. The caregiver is like, look, I need money. I can't take care of my daughter. They come to an arrangement in which, the school teacher is taking care of the caretaker's daughter. The daughter here is a very wild child. And, some of our students try to placate the child. The one student has a musical instrument. And granted, yes, it's hard for caregivers these days. Again, nursing homes are ripe for COVID. Episode 4 is called 0 Feet Away, and this is directed by Claire Scanlon. And this might be one of the most boring episodes, and this tells the story of 2 bickering people. It's like they're a gay couple. Essentially, this couple here is the odd couple. They really are. And they are like, why don't we invite a third person over to spice up our relationship? And they go on Grindr. Isn't that hilarious, folks? No, not really. The guy they choose for a threesome, Episode 5 here is You Got a Fling Flong Ding Dong, the whole narrative. This is directed by Nick Sandow and written by Tara Herman. And again, these episodes involve exasperated people. And no more exasperated father here whose wife has COVID in the next room. This couple has a child. The husband is in his right mind, or is in his legal right to be like, yeah, I should take you to the hospital. The wife is like, no, I don't want to go to the hospital. You'd be left alone. The young son is like, why can't I visit mom in the next room? The father literally has to put up the baby gate to prevent his son from going into the room where his mother is literally sick. There are a couple of cute moments where they go to animated form, and I guess at one point the father explains what a curse is. He talks to his sister. The sister here, I guess, is doing an 80s thing with workout material. Episode 6 is called Human Animal Trap, and this is directed by Jesse Peretz, and the story here is by Jane Brent and Krista Ray, and it's written by Brent herself. Aging couple, one of whom is played by Dylan Baker, and he's retired. She's a nurse that was retired for a while, then came back because of COVID. Are constantly discussing things over how the fact that he wants to be retired. She's struggling whether or not she wants to be retired. And, oh yeah, he is like, oh yeah, there's an animal somewhere around that I need to capture. Then he talked to friends over drinks, I guess. And at least at one point, there's a heartfelt moment in which he basically says, oh yeah, remember the early days in which we were able to line up our schedules when you were in medical school, able to play Steely Dan all one long afternoon, make love. And at the end of this episode, he's able to catch the raccoon. Of course, the animal rescue people are like, we may have to euthanize the animal. Episode 7 here is called Everything is V Depressing. It's directed by Angela Barnes and written by Anthony Talley. And this basically is an episode in which a young girl is part of an online gaming group, and she's primarily there because there's a boy that she likes, and her best friend is constantly saying to her to ask him to hang out or just doing something that will get you noticed by him. And oh yeah, he broke up with his current girlfriend. There is a lot of Instagram stuff here throughout all these episodes. At least in the previous episode, they were playing Scrabble online, which I've never played Scrabble in my life. This episode goes basically where you think it's gonna go, and then at the end, oh yeah, the George Floyd thing happens. The last episode here is called Pomp and Circumstance. This is directed by Ani Adams and written by Brandon Martin. And basically, this episode here involves an employee and his employer basically clashing over racial justice in American history and what George Floyd means. This episode is essentially shouted. It's like, you don't understand. Both sides have interesting points to make. I think of these episodes, 1, 5, and 6 are probably the best episodes. One involving the funeral, I think the last shot is funny. We all got together. Doesn't do anything for me. Episode 5, as I said, that's essentially a sitcom episode. Episode 7, again, doesn't do anything for me. And episode 8, while I agree with the points that are made, it's shouted upon in the most obvious way. Again, most anthology series, sometimes they run the gamut. Not everything is good, not everything is great. If you're looking for something to watch, sure, watch this. Maybe it'll differ from me on how I thought about the episodes. So folks, social distance, have you seen this? What did you think? Please put everything in the comment box below here, folks. As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, enrich yourself with knowledge. I'll see you next time, folks.